We could still have a deal as long as you keep your brother in line. Gianni? What does he have to do with any of this? Since you want me to stay out of your little thing with Zeke, then I suggest you leave my friendship with Vanessa alone. Vanessa girl, you picked the wrong family to talk down to. Do you think Elvira wrote about her secret lover in this diary? Or maybe you knew, since you two are best friends. Meet with me as soon as you can, because we've got a problem. A huge problem. Once I sweep in, I can take Confidence Designs for all it's worth. Zeke, what do you need? I'm doing good, Nichelle. How are you? Sorry, my mind is kinda all over the place. I called to see if we can set up that date we talked about. But since your mind is all over the place, I'm guessing I need to call another time. Don't go, Zeke. I actually need someone to talk with. What's up? My sister's new friend is trash. Can't you see that I'm busy, Isidore? Our company's finances can't handle themselves. Don't ignore me, Gianni. Are you screwing with me? Honestly, I wish I was after what you did. That doesn't sound convincing. I swear, if you plan this all, I promise to crush you and show no mercy. Thanks for picking up. What do you want, Alan? Is that how you speak to someone who helps you pay your expenses as a college student? How can I help you today? Much better. I'd like you to try and break Wanda's alliance with her husband. I'm glad you took me seriously. It sounded serious, but I wish you would have saved us both the trouble and told me what was wrong over the phone. This is something that has to be discussed face to face. I can't have you over talking me. You still haven't told me what this is all about. Ben is finally asking questions about Elvira. And that's a surprise to you? She was his aunt. Of course he'd be asking questions. This is exactly why I couldn't speak to you on the phone. You just don't want to take the time to listen, Devante. Ben knows that Elvira was unfaithful, and I think he'll be trying to find out who she was unfaithful with. If he keeps digging, he'll discover that Elvira's lover was you. So this Vanessa told your sister that she's going to hell and they're supposed to be friends? That's messed up. And Ulissa still wants to be friends with her. I can't sit by and let Ulissa make herself someone's victim. The more Ulissa stays friends with that girl, the more opportunity it gives for that girl to talk down to my sister. Maybe it ain't as serious as you think. Zeke, you know my sister. I understand that she's got an issue with you, but you know that she's not that bad, where she deserves to be tormented for the rest of her afterlife. What can you do, Nichelle? It ain't like you can control who your sister's friends with. Watch me. Watch your tone, Isidore. What are you even going on about? Devante is threatening to shut down the whole event at the hotel over something you did. What did I do? He wouldn't tell me the specifics, but he told me to ask you. And I'm warning you, Gianni, you better not lie to me. Luckily, I'm not a liar like you are. What does Devante think I did? He told me that you went after some business associate of his, and that what you did, you either owe them an apology or some sort of reparations. You idiot! So Devante was telling the truth? First off, if you call me an idiot again, I'll make sure you leave my office with a swollen lip. Second, I never expected Devante to know. I didn't even know he was this person's business associate. Who's this business associate, Gianni? What did you do? How am I supposed to do that? I'll explain it to you. For as long as I can remember, I've heard how Wanda only got with Udell because my aunt passed away. Her bond with her husband was never as strong as his bond with Elvira. But how is breaking their bond going to give you confidence designs? Udell is working with her to find out who is behind the fake image and the fake recording. You don't want your future to go to smoke if they put their heads together and find out that you've been helping me, do you? Does this mean that you want me to make some sort of AI image of your aunt? How did he even find out that Elvira cheated on Udell? Does it matter? What matters is that he knows. If he can find that out, then he can find out other things. Then figure out how to stop him from digging. Why does the responsibility fall on me? It clearly seems like you entertained this idea of him finding out who Elvira was involved with before she passed away. I didn't entertain the idea. In fact, he's supposed to help me figure out who's been sabotaging me. So that should keep him distracted for the time being. Neither of us can afford him being distracted for a time. Do I have to remind you that you have as much to lose as I do if he finds out that Elvira and I had an affair? Nichelle, what are you gonna do? Because my sister is such a kind soul, she's not gonna end her friendship with that girl on her own. And that means I'll have to get that girl to stop being friends with Yulissa. Jeremiah disrespected me by going after Max and making demands. I know you would have done the same thing if he did the same thing to Alan. Except, I wouldn't have done the same thing. I can't believe you had that man's place of business trashed because your son likes some girl. Now the scholarship event is at risk of being tainted because of your pettiness. And Gianni, if Devontae decides not to hold the event at the hotel, I will tell Mom and Dad why it's not being held in the hottest spot in town, which will not only upset them, but you'll end up losing. Fine, what does Devontae want? Reparations. Either you offer Jeremiah Dorval a formal apology or pay for the damages. No deal. You're getting warm. What I want is a painting. A painting of Wanda? How can you do AI work yet be so stupid? Maybe you should let me finish talking. Like I said, I want a painting, but it's gotta be one of a kind. How would you describe one of a kind? I don't need the reminder. Respectfully, I disagree. From my knowledge, the Russo family still don't know exactly why Elvira ended things with Udell. Most of all, Udell never knew who Elvira was unfaithful with. How do you think he'd feel if he finds out that his own wife kept that knowledge to herself for all these years? You're unbelievable. Don't you dare try to act like you're on moral high ground here. Not only did you get involved with Elvira when you were married to Isabel, who gave you a son, but you were an adult when she was 17. I was 22. A 5-year difference doesn't really count as pedophilia. She was still a teenager, who you knew was with someone who loved her more than life itself. You speak so highly of Udell, but yet you still couldn't bring yourself to tell him the whole truth. Because Elvira swore me to secrecy. Here you are still trying to turn this around on me. We wouldn't be in this mess if you only stayed faithful to your wife and kept your hands to yourself. Instead, you risked your entire marriage, all for a fling with a high schooler. Wouldn't Yulissa get upset with you for taking her friend away from her? I see it as protecting my little sister. Besides, Yulissa would never dare choose anyone else over her family. Did this confrontation with Jeremiah make you lose your senses? Mom and Dad will be furious with you. I'd rather they be mad at me than me being forced to bow down to Devontae Torres' demands. I'm not gonna let you ruin this for me, Gianni. At least you know how I feel. Let's see how far you're willing to keep the venue at Theodosius' palace. Do what you do best. Scheme your way out of this situation just like you easily schemed yourself into it. You have a secret weapon in all of this anyway. Oh, do I? Devontae's wife. You know, the woman you always manipulated when the two of you were together? If memory serves me correctly, You seemed to enjoy it back then. I want a portrait of my aunt looking elegant. What sort of design are you looking for? Modern? Victorian? Anything that's difficult to throw away. What we both can agree on is that I never put a gun to your head asking you to keep this secret all of these years. Instead, you did. If Ben finds out and sheds light on it, then we both will have to deal with the fallout. I get it. From now on, I want you to imagine what it will be like if you lose everything you hold dear because Ben couldn't leave the past in the past. I think that's when you'll truly get it. Bye, Wanda.